This video is going to show you exactly how to generate leads and sales appointments directly from your social media comments using only HighLevel. This way you can just about eliminate the link in bio and eliminate the opt-in page and get more qualified, warmer leads, appointments, and ultimately make more sales, so stick around. Hey, welcome back to the video. On this channel, we talk about all things selling and using HighLevel. So if that's the type of content that you are into, feel free to give this video a like so you see more of them, and consider subscribing to the channel to learn how to be a high-level SaaSpreneur. But all self-promo aside, I'm sure you've seen examples of videos like this where the content creator is asking you to leave a comment on their post with a specific keyword, or they're asking you to send them a message with a specific keyword. Now, in the past, those messages would either be read by a VA and manually dealt with, or it would be a simple automation that would just basically send a link to the person to click on, where they end up on an opt-in page. However, recently, HighLevel has enabled a way that you can actually have an entire DM conversation on autopilot and turn that simple cold DM, or warm DM because it's incoming, into a qualified sales appointment and ultimately a new customer. This is going to allow you to focus on your content to generate more leads, and the leads that you do generate are going to be handled much more efficiently and without any time from you. Let's hop over to the board. I'll show you how this works, and then we're going to jump into HighLevel, and I'm going to show you exactly how to build it. Okay, so to give you a general idea of how this works, I want to draw it out here on the whiteboard, so that way once we hop into HighLevel and we actually start building, everything that I'm building is going to make sense. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to start with social content. So now this could be a content organically, or this can be an ad. Does not matter. And the only requirement on this ad or this organic content is that there's some sort of a call to action to either leave a comment or shoot somebody a DM. Now, what's going to happen here is what we're going to do is we're actually have HighLevel take over. I'm going to put HighLevel here in yellow. What's going to happen is HighLevel is going to take over, and they're actually going to respond on the comment. Basically, we've got respond here on the comment, and what's going to happen is it's going to respond on the comment, and then it's going to start a DM conversation. And then it's going to start a DM conversation with the person. And we're gonna run through a very specific DM script. We're not gonna use AI. We're gonna use a tried and true script here to help generate a lead and gather all of the contact information. And at the end of that conversation, we're actually gonna send them a link to either a calendar or a free digital download. And for the purposes of this video, we're gonna send them to a calendar link. And we're gonna use this using a trigger link, because we can then listen if they clicked or not. So this is actually gonna be a trigger link inside here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all of these leads, we're gonna take all of the leads that go through this particular process, and we're gonna drop them here in a pipeline. Now, this is if somebody comments. If you ask somebody to basically send you a DM, it's gonna be the exact same process, except we're gonna skip the responding on the comment and we're gonna go right to the DM process. But everything from the DM script to the trigger link to the calendar is gonna be exactly the same, no matter what your call to action is here on this content or your ad. Now, let's hop into HighLevel and let's build out all of this. All right, so we're here inside of HighLevel. I've opened up a sandbox account inside of the platform so I can show you the build from start to finish, but there's a couple things that I want you to have set up. Number one is I want you to make sure that you have your Instagram and your Facebook hooked up to HighLevel. How to do that, you're gonna basically come here into settings, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna come in from settings, and then you're going to go here into integrations, and you're gonna make sure that this is colorized. If it's not colorized, there's gonna be this button here that says connected, is gonna say connect, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to basically hit connect, log in. It's gonna pop a screen where you're gonna have to log into your Facebook account, and then whatever Instagram that you have linked to a Facebook page, you're gonna have to have them linked. That's gonna bring in here, it's gonna colorize them, and it's gonna connect them in about 15 to 20 seconds. Now, before you X out of this particular page, you wanna check these buttons here, Messenger and Instagram, and make sure that that is checked on. What this is gonna do, this is gonna allow HighLevel to read your messages. Other than that, the other thing that you wanna have in settings is you wanna have a domain hooked up and live. That's gonna be so we can create our trigger link to our specific calendar. And speaking of calendars, I'm going to also make the assumption that you already have a calendar created inside of HighLevel. I don't inside this account, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to do some movie magic. If you want to see how to make a calendar and an appointment system, I'll put another card for a video right up here. I'm going to do some movie magic, come back with a calendar. And just like that, 2 seconds later, I have a brand new sales appointment calendar that we're going to use for this video. And again, I'll leave a card right up here if you want a full tutorial on how to build high-level calendars. All right, so now that we actually have our social account hooked up, we have a calendar to put people appointments on, and then we also have a domain for our trigger links. We can now go ahead and we can actually start to build the things out in HighLevel that we're going to need. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start building all of the containers that we're going to be putting people in before we actually get into the workflows. Because when you start building in your workflows, you're going to basically, when it says like add to pipeline or add to opportunity, you actually want those opportunities and pipelines to exist when you're activating them on the drop-down menu. So it feels a little bit backwards when you're building this, but it's going to help you later on if you get used to kind of building things this way. All right, so the first thing what we're going to do then is we're going to hop here into opportunities. You notice there is no pipeline yet. What we are going to do, if you have a sales appointment pipeline already, you can go ahead and you can use that. I'm going to assume that you have nothing in this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a completely brand new pipeline, and we're going to call this Facebook, Instagram, social leads, right? Make it something that you are going to remember. Now, when it comes to the stages, we want to think about all of the stages that somebody can go through in this process because we want to use the pipeline to visualize the sales process. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say sent in a DM. That's number one. And then what they can do is they can actually, there's going to be a script that we're going to run them through. So what we're going to do here is have sent in DM. And then we're going to say that they completed the DM sequence. At the end of the DM sequence, what we're going to do is we're actually going to send them a link to click to book a calendar, right? We'll say they click that and then they could either set an appointment or not set an appointment. So we can say here, if they set the appointment, we're going to say set sales appointment. So if you go through this one more time, so somebody cold on the internet is going to see your post, they're going to send a DM or drop a comment, which is going to put them into the pipeline itself. They're going to run through the script, which I'm going to show you later on in the video. When they complete that script, we're going to say that they completed the script and we're going to send them a link. They can either click the link or they cannot click the link. If they click the link, they're going to move forward in the sales process. And then once they click the link and it drops them on their calendar page, they can either book an appointment or not book an appointment. And if they book an appointment, again, they're going to move further down the process. So this way we can kind of retarget people with our automations and with our messaging based upon how far they got down the sales process. And well, we're going to look more intelligent on our end. Once this is done, we're going to hit save, and that's going to create our pipeline. You'll see it right here. And if you come over to the opportunities tab, you will see it right here. It's a simple 4-column pipeline. What we can do is we can also build in our automations, which is going to make this entire thing work. Before we do that, I want to build in the trigger link that we're going to put in at the end of our automation. So to do that, we're going to come here into marketing. We're going to go into trigger links in marketing. We're going to go up here to links. What we're going to do is we're going to add the link here. And this is going to be sales appointment calendar social leads. So we know that this link is going to our sales appointment calendar, and we're going to be giving it out in our social leads automations. Now the link URL, what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the link to the calendar on there. So to do that, you right click up here, you can actually duplicate your tab here in Chrome, which I thought was really, really cool. I figured I'd share it. That brings up a new tab right here. We can hop over to calendars, come over into calendar settings. And then once we see our appointment calendar here, we hit the 3 dots and we go to share. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab this permanent link down here on the bottom. So if anything changes, all our links are still going to work. So we're going to come here, grab our permanent link, flip back over to the tab, and we're going to put that link here on the trigger link. We hit save, and we're going to see this here. So when somebody clicks the trigger link, they're going to land on our calendar, which looks something like this. If we click it real quick, the customer is going to see our sales appointment calendar here when they click the trigger link. Okay, now we have all the pieces. Let's build some automations and let's streamline the process. So we're hop here into automations. What I like to do anytime that I build something that might be multiple automations, I like to create a folder to keep everything organized. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a folder. I'm going to name it sales, because this is a sales function of the business, and we'll say social leads, comment, DM automation. So what I want to do is I want to have the core function of the business sales, kind of what division of that core function this is going to be generating social leads, and then what the workflows inside the folder are actually going to do. It's going to be comment and DM automations. And that's going to create a folder here. We open the folder. Now we can start building. Let's hop in here. Let's create the workflow. And I'm going to start this from scratch because there isn't really a recipe for this yet at the time of this video. So we're going to hop here into Scratch. First thing I do with any workflow is that I actually name it. So we're going to go social comment automation. And what we're going to do here is I like to actually add a number, and the number is going to be the order that the lead flows through the automation. So if I'm in here looking at someone's account, I know that the lead's going to interact with number 1, then number 2, then number 3 as they get further down the sales process. So we're going to say comment left on post. That's going to be there. So the trigger here, obviously we want it, it's in the title. When somebody comments on a post, we want this to get triggered. So we're gonna click the trigger here, and I think it is comments. There it is, comments on a post. You can actually just search comments. Now, we do this either for Facebook or for Instagram. For the purposes right now, I'm just going to show you this on Instagram. I'm going to show you a really easy way to basically clone this for Facebook at the end. Come here into Instagram. We're going to go comments on post. Now, when you do this, it's imperative that you have people leaving a specific keyword so that you look intelligent as the marketer. I see so many people, especially sometimes in the HighLevel group, they run this for a client and it triggers on every single comment, even comments that are not related to the sales process. So please, for the love of your chosen deity, make sure that you have people leaving a specific comment to trigger this. What we're gonna do here, this is going to be smart. This is going to be a smart automation. Comment on post, smart. Now what we wanna do is we wanna actually have HighLevel look for that comment. So the page is going to be the Instagram page that you have hooked up. Post type is going to be published, right? Make sure it's a published post. And then the post is going to be, you can actually go in and specify a specific post. But what I like to do is I like to specify by a keyword. This way you can use this keyword across multiple posts and you don't actually have to update your automations. So we come over to here, add filters, contains the phrase or exact match. I like exact match because if you have somebody like, hey, this was a smart post, you don't want to trigger it. You want it to just be the word smart. So we're going to say smart, hit the enter button. You want to see this little box and now it is set. And now it's only looking for comments that say smart. You also only want to track the first level comments. So we're going to save the trigger. Now we are listening for comments on our Instagram page with the single word that says smart. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to respond to them and let them know that we're going to be sending them a DM. Because if you send somebody a DM that you're not friends with or you don't follow, you end up in either the requests tab, the general tab, you don't end up in their primary inbox. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to tell them that we're going to be DMing them. I think that is respond on comment. Reply in comments. And what you want to do here is you don't want to use the same response over and over and over again because you'll trick the spam algorithms and it'll know that you're doing automated activity and you'll get this nice little warning on your Instagram that says they detect automated activity. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a couple of different variations of letting them know that we're going to DM them. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is, again, you wanna make at least 3, sometimes people will do 5 different responses, and what HighLevel is gonna do is HighLevel is gonna shuffle up these responses so it looks like it's an actual person going through the comments themselves. What we also wanna do is we also wanna like the comments so they get an extra notification, and we take up just a little bit more real estate on their notification feed so they see that we responded to their particular comment. Okay, so after we respond on the comment, we want to go ahead and we want to send them a DM, but we're not going to send them just a regular DM. We're going to send them what's called an interactive messenger. You'll see this one here. It says Instagram interactive messenger. We're going to click on this. And what we want to do is first we want to confirm their interest in their free thing. We want to give them a micro commitment, give them one more thing to click to show us that they're really interested in setting an appointment with us or downloading the free thing that we have. We don't want to be dealing with people who are kind of tire kickers and looky-loos. So if we make them jump through just a couple little hoops, it'll weed a lot of those people out. So we're going to call this here confirm interest. And this is the first step in the script that I'm going to show you. So we're going to confirm interest and we want to reply to comment via DM. This is perfect. Now what we are going to do is we're going to say something like, hey, thanks for commenting on my post. I would love to sit down and discuss offer, right? Whatever you're selling. Are you, and then what you would do is you would actually want to call out your ideal avatar. Are you, again, I'll put ideal avatar here. Are you a business owner who feels like they don't have enough time in their day, right? Something like that. That's what you're going to want to say. After we're done with that, we're actually going to go ahead here and hit them with a question mark. And once that's done, we're going to go there and hit them with a question mark. So it says, hey, thanks for commenting on my post. I would love to sit down and discuss offer with you. I would love to discuss getting more leads. I would love to discuss, actually, rather than offer, let's use results, right? Talk about the result of your offer. I'd love to talk about getting more leads in your business. I'd love to talk about freeing up more time, whatever it is, right? Are you my ideal avatar? Question mark. Now what we want to do is we want to actually add buttons. Those interactive messages are those DMs that have the buttons yes or no. So what we can do into here is we're gonna add a button and we can say something that goes, yes, that's me. And then we can add a button here that goes, no, I'm not. Again, this is giving the person the chance to basically self-identify and go, yeah, I'm the person you want to work with, or I'm not really who you're looking for. Now select action, it's going to say perform actions. If you go to open website, it's going to go right to a link, which we don't necessarily want. We want to give these people more involved. We want to gather some information, make it feel like a more engaged interaction before we actually set the appointment. So what we're going to do here, perform actions. Same thing, perform actions. And what we want to do here with the default wait step, we want to give them time to read the message before it times out. Now, this is going to be critical that I like to set this one here at like 1,420 minutes. If you do the math on 1,420, that's 23 and a half hours. What we're doing is we're giving the person an entire day to actually respond and click the button. Reason being is that people are busy. They could be sitting on the bus. They could be sitting at a red light, commenting, and then forget about it and not check their Instagram until the next morning, right? We don't want to time out if that person is our ideal customer. So we give them about a day to respond. So when that's done, we basically give them, called out our ideal avatar. We give them, yes, that's me, no, I'm not, wait the day, and we hit save action. Now what's going to happen here is we've got three possible outcomes. We've got, they click yes and they self-identify, they raise their hand, they self-identify and go, I'm not who you want to work for, or they just kind of forget about it. What we're going to do is we're going to work from left to right here on the branch. What we're going to do is we're going to deal with the people who are not our avatar, the people who just timed out. Do that. We're going to come over to here, hit three dots, come here, and we go copy action. We just copy it over there. What we're going to want to do is we want to actually just reconfirm the interest. And we're going to say, hey, I understand life sometimes gets busy, so I wanted to touch base again. Are you ideal avatar? What this is going to do is this is just going to, again, it's going to ping them again with another notification, maybe get back into their inbox, re-engage them, and then they can again put their hand up and go, yeah, that's me, or no, I'm not. But we don't want to actually time out after a day again. We want to time this one out probably after 12-ish hours. So that's going to be, let's call that 710 minutes. Someone will check the math on that one. Now, if somebody times out for a day and they time out for another 12 hours, what we're going to want to do is we don't want the person, we don't want to completely discount the lead, but what we also want to do is we want to make sure this person's kind of cold. So what we want to do is we want to actually add this person to the pipeline. We can go create opportunity. And somebody doesn't confirm their interest, right? They time out for a day, they forget about it. We touch base with them again and they kind of forget about it again. What we want to do is we don't necessarily want to remove this person from our world because they did show enough interest to comment on our post, right? So we want to kind of keep them hanging around. So what we want to do is we want to actually add everybody to our pipeline initially. And then as people do stuff, we want them to actually move over in the pipeline. So after we respond on the comment, we actually want to come over to here. And we want to add create an opportunity. What we're going to do is we're going to add to social. We have our social leads pipeline and we're going to put them in that first stage that they sent in a DM. Opportunity name. What we're going to do now is we're going to use contact user full name. Now, if this is on Instagram or if this is on Facebook, this is going to pull their screen name, their username into the opportunity. So you might not necessarily get a real name. You might just get a username here, which is fine. Now, if you want to put lead value, let's say that we're selling, $1,000 thing, we can put $1,000 here in the lead value. I'm going to leave it empty for this particular video. And status, we're going to leave it open because they haven't abandoned, lost, or won just yet. So we're going to go here, save action, add to the social pipeline. So now what'll happen is they're going to add to the social pipeline. If they basically time out, they time out again. They're just going to kind of hang in that first column. They sent in a DM, but they have not actually progressed any further. We can then take the time and follow up with them manually. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, if somebody says, no, I am not your ideal avatar, what we're going to do is we're actually going to send them a DM that says, hey, thanks for sending me a message, but I really only like to work with ideal avatar. Is there something else I can help you with? What you want to do is you actually want to give this, keep this open-ended because this person did take the time to comment, open your message, and then click a button. So this is still somebody who's engaged, but they're not necessarily the ideal person that you want to go ahead and sit down with. So what you want to do is rather than just send them a calendar link, you want to keep the conversation going. So it says, hey, thanks for sending me a message, but I really only like to work with the ideal avatar. Is there something else I can help you with? And save that action. But then what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove them from the sales lead, the social pipeline, because they're not necessarily an ideal lead. So we're gonna come over to here and we're gonna click remove opportunity. Remove opportunity from the social leads pipeline. Save the action. And then we're gonna save our workflow. We're gonna get in the habit of saving our workflow. Now with the person here going, no, I'm not on the second one, we wanna use a go to. We're gonna hop over here and we're gonna go to, because we don't wanna type out the same message twice. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use that go to action and just connect the two. So if someone times out, they send it and they click, no, I'm not, they go back to the same workflow, the same message, whether they just said, no, it's not me, I'm not your ideal avatar. That's going to be there. Now, if you notice, our eagle-eyed viewers will notice that there are no wait steps in between this. HighLevel requires a wait step between all of the messages, or it's just gonna fire all the stuff here at once. So what we are going to do is we're gonna add some wait steps to kind of pace this out. What we are gonna do is once someone comments, what we wanna do is we want to not look like a bot. We wanna go ahead and we want to add a wait. We're gonna wait 30 seconds. And you might be going, holy crap, Dom, I don't know how to do 30 seconds. It only takes minutes. You can come into here and go 0.5 minutes and that will translate to 30 seconds. Boom, you just waited 30 seconds. Now, the next thing that we wanna do is we wanna actually copy this and we wanna wait 30 seconds before DMing them as well. Because no human is going to respond and then send a DM within 2 seconds of each other. So what's gonna happen here is they're gonna comment, it's gonna wait 30 seconds, it's gonna drop a comment, it's gonna wait another 30 seconds, and it's gonna send them to confirm the DM to confirm the interest. If they say, no, I'm not, what's gonna happen here? We're gonna copy this again. We're gonna wait 30 seconds. I just noticed a mistake. We're gonna actually use the go to. Let's connect the go to the 30 seconds up top. So now there's gonna be some pacing and it basically gives us some time to, looks like we're typing, right? It doesn't look like a complete bot is doing this. So what we've done now is we've actually dealt with everybody who is not our ideal customer. Now let's deal with the people who are our ideal avatar, and we actually want to start gathering that person's information so we can set an appointment. So we're going to do same thing so we don't look like a bot. We're gonna start by waiting 30 seconds before sending them a message. We're gonna send them a DM, Instagram DM. This first one here, what we wanna do is we wanna get the person's name, we wanna get the person's email, and hopefully the person's phone number before we send them the calendar link. That is our goal here with this simple script. And what we're gonna do is kind of an overarching mentality and mindset that we're gonna have here. We wanna give them a reason as to why we need each bit of information. If we do that, it's more likely that they're going to provide us with the information that we need and the information that we want. So what we're going to do is first thing, we're gonna say get their name. Now again, just to refresh your memory, person has commented on a piece of content they thought was helpful. We responded. They said, yes, I'm looking to get result. I am your ideal customer. Please talk to me. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually, this is gonna be our next message to them. And it's going to say, awesome, let's get something on the calendar. I would say, what's your full name? Now we wanna give them a reason. What's your full name? I know sometimes people use screen names online. What that's gonna do there is it's gonna give them a reason why we're asking for their full name. Or you can say something, hey, let's get something on the calendar. What name do you want me to put on your file, right? Something like that, something that's basically gonna ask them their name, tell them what you're gonna be using their name for. You don't just ask them, hey, what's your name? What's your real name? Because some people are gonna say, my fake name online is fine. This kind of diffuses that right away. Save the action. Now what we're going to do is we're actually gonna wait for their reply. What we're gonna do here is we're going to have to go here, wait, and then we're gonna wait for what's called an event. In the wait step, we're gonna come down here to where it says contact reply, and we're gonna reply to getting their name. Now we want to no, we don't want a timeout. Now we want to reply to getting their name. We hit basically wait for their, what this is gonna do now, it's gonna send that DM and it's not gonna send another DM until they respond with their name. And 99 times out of 100, they're just gonna respond with the name that they wanna put on the file. So now what you're going to do is once we get, this is not gonna move to the next step until they respond with their name. Once they send their name, it's gonna say we're going to update the contact field, update their name. And what we wanna do is we're gonna update the field data and we wanna add the field. So what we're doing is we're telling HighLevel what field we want to update. So we're gonna basically come into here and it's gonna say full name. And now we wanna tell HighLevel what we wanna put in the name slot. And to do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit this little tag here and we're gonna come into message, and this is gonna pull from the Instagram messages. What this is gonna do, this message is gonna pull from the Instagram messages and wanna grab the message body. Whatever the last message they sent, which is gonna be basically, Joe Smith or Jim Jones or whatever, it's gonna take that and put it into their name slot.
We're gonna hit save action. We wanna update the name. Next thing that we want to do is we wanna get their email. So what we're gonna do then is once they send us our name, we're gonna send another DM, we're gonna wait for the reply, and then we're gonna update the field. So rather than adding this 3 more times, we're gonna basically come over to here, hit copy all actions from here, and we're gonna run it through again. Let's go into here and let's go get their email. Now what we want to do after we get their email, we want to try to get their phone number. So again, I'm just going to copy this again, copy all actions from here. And now we're going to come into here is get their phone number. Save this here because it's getting kind of long. So once we've updated their name, we're going to try to get their email. And this message is going to go something like, great. What email do you want me to send the calendar invite to? Because again, we're basically telling them that we want to sit down and we want to chat. So it's implied that there's going to be an appointment, right? What email do you want me to send the calendar invite to? Super nonchalant, super just assume that they're going to give it to you in their tone. Save action. Now we're going to say wait for their email. And what we're going to do here is, it's going to reply to get their email. It was already there. That's a small update, but thanks HighLevel dev team. Get their email. And once we get their email, we're going to update their email. Update field data, and we're going to use email. Where is that? Email. And then same thing, we're going to take message body like we did with the name. What this is going to do, this is going to take the body of the last message they sent, which at this point in time is going to be hopefully just their email address. Next thing though, now with phone, it gets a little tricky. So once we have their email address, we can say something like, thanks. First what we want to do is we want to get consent to text them. And by giving us consent, naturally it's going to flow that they give us their phone number. So we're going to say, thanks. Is it cool if I text you reminders leading up to the, I don't like to use the word appointment, but I can't think of a better one right now. Meeting. Let's use meeting. Leading up to the meeting. I don't like appointment because appointment's like a doctor's office. It's like kind of, if you've been in sales for a while, appointment's kind of a dirty word. I just like to use meeting because it feels less threatening to the customer. Is it cool if I text you reminders leading up to the meeting? And they will say yes or no. So what we're going to do here is this little wait is going to be slightly different. What this is going to do is this is going to be wait for reply. And we're still replying to the, get their phone, right? To get their phone numbers. It's cool if we text you, but we only want to wait like 15 minutes for them to give we actually only want to wait. Let's call it 5 minutes now. We want to wait like 5 minutes to get their phone number, to get their consent. So let's go save action. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to replace this to go get consent to text. Save action. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to ask them for consent to text. Is it cool if I text you leading up to the meeting? And it's going to say, we're going to wait 5 minutes. If they don't respond in 5 minutes, it's going to proceed anyway to the next step in the process. So, but if they reply, it's going to move forward right away. Go wait for a reply, get consent to text, wait 5 minutes. If they don't, move on anyway if they don't do it in 5 minutes. We're actually going to delete this because we're not updating it just yet. Now, what can happen here is we can say, we're going to use if else. There's 3 possible things that can happen. They responded, yes, you can text me. No, you can't text me, or they didn't respond at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a branch for each of those 3 possible things. Question we're going to ask is, did they respond? And it's going to go, yes, we can text. So what we're going to do here is it's going to be contact reply, yes. And we're going to go into here, contact reply, intent type is positive or yes. Is it cool that we text you? Yes, it is. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add another branch that goes can't text. Same thing, contact reply, contact replied, yes, and contact reply, intent type is no. So it says, yes, we can text, yes, but we can't text. And then by default, if they don't reply, we can just leave that here. No reply. Save action. All right, so now we've actually got the 3 possible outcomes of this text of asking if we can text them. Now let's assume at this point that they say, yes, we can text. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do the same thing with a DM. We're gonna come over to here, we're gonna go get phone number, and it's gonna say, awesome. So, or what is your number? We can go something right through there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from get their phone number. It's going to go wait for the reply. And we're going to say, wait for reply. You'll notice there's a lot of repetitive steps here. Let's say get phone, wait for that. And then what's going to happen here is we're going to update contact field, update the phone field. And it's going to say, where's phone? Phone right down there. Okay. And we're going to come over to here. Same thing, message body. And if that happens, we've updated the phone. And you'll notice that I'm only using a couple of functions in the workflow, but I'm using them over and over and over and over again. And it's more about the messages that I'm putting in the script that I'm using in my messages. It's essentially what we're doing. So I said, did they respond? Yes, we can text them. They go, yes, but we can't text them. In the case that we can't text them, you guessed it, we're going to send another DM. That's going to say, no worries. Here's my calendar link so we can get something on the schedule. If I can type. It says, no worries, here's my calendar link so we can get something on the schedule. Now, what we want to do is we want to actually not send a raw calendar link, but we want to actually send a trigger link that we created before. So we come over to here, we hit trigger links, this little lightning bolt, and then we go into here is sales appointment calendar social link. We're going to send that link right through there. So now they can click that and they can get something on the calendar. Okay, now if somebody comes over to here and they update their phone, we're going to want to do basically the same message with that trigger link in there. So we're going to come over to here and we're going to send the DM here that goes, great, let me send you my calendar link. Pick a slot that works for you, and I'll see you soon. And then from here, we're going to basically send these social appointment leads. Use that trigger link that we're going to send them. When they click that, they're going to see the calendar on the other side of the link. Send calendar link. We're going to hit save action. And now in the third scenario that somebody doesn't reply, that basically implies that we can't text them. They're just kind of being nice, but we want to send them the calendar link anyway because we have their name and we have their email. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to copy a variation of this message where we basically go, hey, no worries. Here's my link anyway. Copy here. But since they haven't responded, right, we're not going to say, oh, hey, no worries. Say something like, I understand if you don't want to get texts. Either way, here's my calendar link so we can get something on the schedule. I'll see you soon. And then we'll just leave the calendar link is there. So it's going to be no worries sent link. Basically, we'll say, we'll leave that the same action. So we're sending them the link on all three of these messages once we're going to save. Now what we want to do is we want to actually add those opportunity updates so that people will move through that pipeline. Down here, what we're going to do is the opportunity that got created at the top of the workflow, we're going to move it to the next part of the box if they make it through all of these automations. We're going to move to complete. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in social leads, completed DM sequence. So what we're having is the people got added to the sent in DM at the very top. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to add them, move them over one slot to the right to say completed DM sequence once they hit this point in the automation. Because we updated their name before, we're actually going to go again. We're going to update their name. We go contact full name. And then status, we're also going to leave open because this hasn't become a customer yet. So we're going to leave all the rest of this blank, but we are going to update the name because we got their real name up above. We're going to hit save. So now we move them to complete. And we're going to do the same thing with the people over here, but we're not going to add 3 different updates. We're just going to use that go to function. So we're going to go to, move down here, go to, move down there. So what's going to happen now is the person here is going to go to, again, they're going to go to move to complete, and they've already got their calendar link. Now, what we can do is we can actually wait to see if they click the trigger link. We can sit here and we can go ahead and we can wait until, because remember, we sent them a trigger link. It's now waiting to see if they click it. And we go wait for trigger link clicked. Select the trigger link, the social leads. And we're not going to time this out. We're going to leave the timeout here. So what's going to happen is everybody who submits a comment, everybody who submits a DM is going to basically work their way through this automation so you can send them the link. And now they're going to wait to see if the trigger link here is clicked. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to select our trigger link here, and then we're going to hit this timeout. We want to wait now for 1 day. We want to give them 1 day to see whether or not they click the trigger link to book an appointment. So we're going to save action. And what's going to happen now is it's going to wait to see if they click. If they click right away, it's going to move them right away. If they wait a whole day and they don't click, it's going to move right away again. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an if else. We're going to check to see if they clicked. I want to see here if it goes events, trigger link clicked is yes. Did they click the trigger link? Yes or no, right? If it times out, they're going to go down the no branch. If they clicked it, they're going to go down the yes branch. So if they hit yes, it's fine. They clicked the trigger link. Hopefully they booked an appointment. If they did not click that trigger link, what's going to happen here, we're going to send them again. We're going to follow them up with a DM and we're going to say, did you get the link or something like that? We'll be like, hey, I notice you haven't booked a time to chat yet. Is there any other questions you had? So you can just basically this other soft touch, which is going to ping them again, follow up with them to try to get them to click the link again. So we can say, hey, I noticed you haven't booked the time to chat yet. Is there anything other questions that I had? Here's the link again to book a time slot. And we'll just give them that link. We'll use a trigger link one more time. And if they don't click it, great. They're probably not an actual lead. It happens. But more times than not, people are going to click this link the second time that you send them to kind of book a slot. We'll hit save, and now we've got that. Now, if somebody clicks the link, what we want to do is we actually want to update the opportunity and move to clicked. We go in pipeline, social leads, and we're going to have to go into here, clicked booking link. And we're gonna leave everything the same, right? We don't have to update their name. We don't have to update their source. All we wanna do is we just wanna move the box into the click booking link. Once we hit save, we're good. And then we can hit publish, hit save again. Now any lead that we get with the word smart is going to follow this entire automation. Now there's one more thing we have to do to complete this automation is we also wanna see whether or not they booked the appointment, but we're not going to do that inside this particular workflow. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a sister workflow that goes with this. And I'm gonna copy the name so it goes alphabetically. New workflow, which is gonna be start from scratch. Got it? And we're gonna make this number 2. We're gonna call this appointment booked. This is gonna be very, very simple. The other one did 95% of the work. What's gonna happen now is we're gonna add new trigger and we're gonna go customer booked appointment in the calendar. Sales appointments, that's your trigger. And then if that happens, we're just going to update the opportunity and we are going to move to booked, social leads, move to set sales appointment, and then we're just going to publish it. And that's done. So what's going to happen now? Now we have a fully completed, fully automated pipeline.
And with the completion of that workflow, you now have a fully automated pipeline to generate leads and generate sales appointments from your social comments on HighLevel. Listen, if you made it this far into the video, I commend you. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to work with me directly or start your own HighLevel agency and get step-by-step guidance, I've left all kinds of links in the video description and in the comments below. Be sure to check those out. And if you want more free HighLevel content right here on YouTube, be sure to check out one of these 2 videos up here in the corners. I will see you in the next video.